What makes a man choose truth over life itself? In the scorching desert of Karbala, one man stood with only a few companions against an empire, not for power, not for victory, but for justice. Imam Husain ibn Ali, the beloved grandson of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, refused to bow to tyranny and chose sacrifice over silence. This is not just a story of history. It is a message for every generation. This is the story of Imam Husain and the stand that changed the course of Islam forever. Imam Husain ibn Ali, the eternal stand for truth and justice, the history of Islam. The name Imam Husain ibn Ali stands as a timeless symbol of truth, justice, and moral courage. He was the beloved grandson of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, raised in the heart of Islam, and destined to make a stand that would define the meaning of righteousness for generations to come. His story is not merely one of tragedy, but of purpose, a deliberate stand against injustice to preserve the soul of Islam. Noble birth and upbringing. Imam Husain was born in 626 CE in Medina, the son of Ali ibn Abi Talib and Fatima al-Zahra, the Prophet's beloved daughter. He grew up in the Prophet's household, witnessing firsthand the values of mercy, humility, patience, and devotion to Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, loved Hassan and Hussein deeply and often reminded the Muslim community of their special status. This upbringing shaped Hussein into a man of exceptional character, deeply connected to faith and moral responsibility. A life of character, not ambition. Unlike many leaders of his time, Imam Husain never sought power or authority. He lived simply, helped the poor, and devoted himself to worship and teaching. People respected him not only because of his lineage, but also because he embodied the ethical teachings of Islam. After the martyrdom of his father, Ali ibn Abi Talib, and later the death of his brother Imam Hussain, Hussein became the most prominent moral figure among the Muslims. He represented continuity with the Prophet's mission at a time when political power was increasingly separated from moral leadership. The crisis of leadership after Muawiyah's 680 CE, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan passed away, and his son, Yazid, declared himself ruler of the Muslim empire. Yazid immediately demanded allegiance from influential figures, including Imam Husain. However, Yazid's character and governance were widely criticized. His leadership contradicted Islamic principles of justice, accountability, and moral conduct. Allegiance to such a ruler would have legitimized oppression and corruption. Imam Husain refused, not out of rebellion, but out of responsibility. He believed that silence would mean endorsing injustice. He clearly stated that his stand was to reform the ummah of his grandfather, not to seek kingship or power. Departure from Medina and stay in Mecca. Pressure increased in Medina. Imam Husain chose to leave rather than allow bloodshed near the Prophet's mosque. He traveled to Mecca, hoping to find a peaceful solution. During his stay in Mecca, letters began arriving from Kufa, where many people expressed dissatisfaction with Yazid and pledged support to Imam Husain if he came to lead them. After careful consideration and sending a representative to assess the situation, Imam Husain decided to respond, knowing full well the risks involved. Journey toward destiny. Imam Husain set out toward Iraq with his family and a small group of loyal companions. Along the journey, the political situation changed rapidly. Supporters in Kufa were intimidated, imprisoned, or killed by Yazid's governor. Despite receiving warnings and learning that support was fading, Imam Husain continued forward. His mission was no longer about victory. It was about bearing witness to truth, regardless of the outcome. Arrival at Karbala Muharram of 680 CE. Yazid's forces intercepted Imam Husain's caravan and forced them to camp in the barren desert of Karbala, near the Euphrates River. Soon, Hussein and his companions were surrounded by a large army. Despite being close to water, they were denied access for several days, including women and children. Imam Husain still sought to avoid bloodshed. He spoke to the opposing army, reminding them of his identity, his relationship to the Prophet, and the consequences of injustice. His appeals were met with silence. The day of Ashura, the 10th of Muharram, known as Ashura, the final confrontation took place. Imam Husain gave his companions the option to leave under the cover of darkness. None abandoned him. One by one, his companions and family members went to the battlefield, displaying extraordinary courage, faith, and loyalty. Despite overwhelming odds, they stood firm. Imam Husain remained steadfast until the very end, embodying patience, dignity, and absolute trust in Allah. He was martyred on that day at the age of approximately 56, sealing his stand with the ultimate sacrifice. Why Karbala matters? Karbala was not about numbers or military success. It was about principle over power. Imam Husain proved that justice is worth more than life itself. Faith cannot coexist with tyranny. True leadership requires sacrifice. His martyrdom exposed oppression and ensured that Islam would never be reduced to mere political authority. A legacy that lives forever. Imam Husain's message transcends time, geography, and sectarian boundaries. He is remembered as a universal symbol of resistance against injustice, a model of ethical leadership, a reminder that truth ultimately prevails. His stand has inspired reformers, scholars, and freedom movements across the world. Imam Husain did not fall at Karbala. He rose forever. His sacrifice taught the world that justice is stronger than swords, and truth is greater than power. Even today, his stand reminds us that silence in the face of oppression is not an option, and faith must always be defended with courage and integrity. Through his life, we learn that moral courage, selflessness, and standing for what is right can change the course of history. Let his example inspire us to act with honesty, compassion, and unwavering principle in our own lives. If Imam Husain's story inspired you, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. So together, we can continue sharing powerful lessons from Islamic history and the timeless message of justice, faith, and sacrifice.